Hey math kids, today we're going to continue talking about completing the square, but this time we're going to take it a little bit further than we took it on the last one. So I am going to do a problem that I did on the last video, but I'm going to take it a little bit further. So what we're going to do is we're going to complete the square, but then we're also going to solve for x in the end. So this is a quadratic because it follows ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to y. It needs to be quadratic to use this method. Then we plug in 0 for y, so I'm just going to put a 0 on top of that. And then we want to move the c term onto the side that the 0 is on. So our c term is -1, so we need to add 1 to both sides. 0 plus 1 is 1. Now, if we had an a term that wasn't 1, or a coefficient that wasn't 1, we would divide everything by a. Since it's 1, dividing by 1 doesn't do anything, so I'm going to move on to my L step. So we go to the piece that it has the x, and we just take that number, we cut it in half, so we divide by 2, we get a 1, and then we square, and we also get a 1. You take that number and you add it to both sides. And then we get 1 plus 1 is 2. And then I just rewrote what I had right there. Now from this point, we do what I call the magic step. You just do parentheses that are squared, set it equal to whatever was equal there. You write the variable, so x in this case. Then you go to the elbow of the L step, and since that's a positive 1, I say plus 1. Now in the previous video, that's where we stopped. So I'm going to give me some space right here. I'm just going to rewrite this up here. Now, from here we just want to solve for x. So SADMAP's going to be our friend. And we have parentheses, so I like to cover that up and not even look at it. So the only thing we have on the outside of parentheses is this square. And so to get rid of that, I'm going to square root both sides. Remember, when you introduce a square root into a problem, you have to do plus or minus. So plus or minus square root of 2 equals x plus 1 because this square canceled this square root. The final step on the algebra, we subtract 1 from both sides. So we get -1 plus or minus the square root of 2 equals x. And that's our final answer. Now I'm going to do one more. So we have y equals 5x squared plus 50x minus 10. Let's do that. So we look at it, it's quadratic, so we change this to a 0. We add 10 to both sides, so we get 10 equals 5x squared plus 50x. We divide by the leading coefficient, which is 5. So we get 2 equals x squared plus 10x. We do the L step. That's dividing by 2, so we get 5x. Or not 5x, sorry, just 5. We just do the number. Divide by 2, we get 5. And then we square and get 25. So we add 25 to both sides. Add those together, we get 27 equals x squared plus 10x plus 25. From here we do the magic step. So you write the variable, and then you take the elbow, so that's a positive 5, like that. Okay. Let's see, what color should I get? Let's get yellow. Okay, from here, this is where we would have stopped on the previous video, but we want to get rid of this squared, so we square root both sides. Plus or minus the square root of 27 equals x plus 5. subtract 5, subtract 5, negative 5 plus or minus the square root of 27 equals x. Now if you want to stop there, I'll accept that, and I'm not worried about the simplification. But technically we could take this square root of 27, 3 times 9, 3 times 3, pair of 3's, single 3, and we could replace that with negative 5 plus or minus 3 root 3 is equal to x. So that would be the fully simplified version, but like I said, this yellow one is fine. You'll get full credit in the class. That's all for this video. If you need additional help, come to Math Lab. For now, calculator.